There are many splendid tales from old Hollywood, but few are quite as heartwarming as that of the lifelong friendship between Gregory Peck and Ava Gardner. Though the two were never romantically involved, they worked together multiple times and shared a friendship that lasted decades. Join FactsVerse as we take a look at rare photos of Gregory Peck and Ava Gardner's relationship. What did they have in common? Though Gregory Peck and Ava Gardner were both giant stars in the world of old Hollywood, their names are rarely mentioned in the same sentence. Gregory Peck is considered one of the most respectable actors in cinema history, while Ava Gardner is typically viewed as just one among many of the Marilyn Monroe-style sex symbols of Hollywood's golden age. Those who hold this position may be surprised to learn that Gregory and Ava were lifelong friends. And even more surprising, this wasn't a friendship based on sex. Gregory developed a professional respect for Ava after working with her numerous times. Though the two came up in Hollywood around the same time, Gregory showed up a little sooner. Both stars decided they wanted to become performers during their college years. Gregory was pre-med, while Ava was attending secretarial school. Gregory didn't have the looks to get him by like Ava did, so he had to intensively study the craft of acting to make it in the entertainment industry. Ava was a natural beauty, so she had a much easier time getting in the door. And while this might make it seem like Ava had full advantage over Peck, this wasn't actually the case. Gregory honed his craft on the stage in New York before making it to Hollywood. Meanwhile, Ava Gardner went straight to Hollywood. Gregory's added acting experience meant he had far more skills than Ava when he started appearing in films. This is part of the reason Gregory remains a much more highly acclaimed performer. Ava wasn't given much time to hone her craft upon arriving in Hollywood. She was offered a contract with MGM, and the studio put her through its own training system. Ava Gardner wasn't a trained actress. The training offered to Ava by MGM didn't do much to make the natural beauty into a skilled actress. Many have accused the actress of floating by on her looks, though there are still those that credit Ava for having a naturally charismatic screen presence. By the time she showed up in Hollywood, Gregory was already starring in pictures. The two were said to have first met during an award show being put on by the magazine Look in 1948. A year later, the two appeared together in the first of their 3 shared pictures. The first of 3 films that the two starred in together was 1949's The Great Sinner. While filming, Ava became enamored of her co-star's work ethic. Gregory was married at the time, so wasn't interested in Ava romantically, but he did help the burgeoning actress out when it came to her performance. The two had great chemistry on and off the screen, and their professional respect for one another quickly blossomed into a personal friendship. Their friendship lasted from the moment they worked together to the end of Ava's life in 1990. Though Gregory was a much bigger star than Ava at the time The Great Sinner was released, Ava would grow to match the actor in terms of popularity over the course of the 50s. Oddly enough, her rise to fame didn't come as a result of The Great Sinner. In fact, it was a pretty big flop. MGM could have thrown Ava by the wayside, but the studio decided to give her another chance. The Great Sinner had been Ava's first shot at playing lead, though her breakout role had been in 1946's The Killers. Over the course of the 50s, films like Showboat and The Barefoot Contessa made Ava a bigger star than ever. Gregory was doing similarly well during the 50s, and he and Ava were essentially on equal footing by the time they filmed their second picture together. This video is sponsored by the Ridge Wallet. Gone are the days of lugging around a messy, bulky wallet. The Ridge Wallet has room for everything I need, holding up to 12 cards plus room for cash, all while keeping a sleek and minimal appearance. We love the black Damascus design, but there are over 30 different colors and styles to choose from. I also traded in a clunky keychain for the Ridge key case, which holds up to 6 keys to keep me organized. Get the best offer by visiting our link at ridge.com/factsverse, where you can save up to 40% through December 22nd. All you have to do to get this deal is click the link below or visit ridge.com/factsverse. The Snows of Kilimanjaro proved a big success. According to the late Gregory Peck, he saw a notable growth in Ava Gardner's acting skills between the first 2 pictures they starred on. Gregory claimed he asked Ava to push herself beyond the studio training MGM had supplied, and he believed he saw his insistence have an effect on her over the course of her career. Ava has rarely been praised for her acting abilities, with most historians believing what she really brought to the table was her natural beauty and innately charismatic presence. However, Gregory always defended Ava, claiming she was a much better actress than most people gave her credit for. The Snows of Kilimanjaro was based on the short story of the same name by Ernest Hemingway. Unlike the first movie Gregory Peck and Ava Gardner starred in together, this one was a success. It was a 20th Century Fox production. The movie became one of the studio's biggest hits of the 1950s and helped solidify its star's status as two of Hollywood's most popular performers. On the Beach was another big flop. The third and final picture that the two starred in together was 1959's On the Beach. During filming, Ava Gardner won her co-star's respect more than ever. Gregory was the first of the two stars to join the cast, and Ava arguably only joined because she knew her old friend was involved. When it came time to shoot, the pair had to film in some incredibly stressful conditions. According to Peck, there were certain scenes that he and Ava Gardner had to shoot for On the Beach where they had to deal with intensive heat waves and swarms of flies. The temperatures were said to have been well over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and the flies apparently got so bad it sometimes seemed as if they were blackening out the sky. Gregory claimed these conditions became particularly irritating one day when he and Ava were supposed to shoot a romantic scene that took place on a beach. This scene proved nearly impossible to film due to the swarms of flies. The flies apparently got so bad that crew members had to use smoke guns to make them dissipate. Smoke would be shot all around Gregory and Ava, which would cause the flies to leave for a period of a few moments. It was during these few minutes of solace that the crew would then scramble to get the scene filmed. Ava won Gregory's respect many times. Peck claimed he developed more respect for Ava Gardner than ever during the filming of On the Beach. The actor claimed that any other actress besides Ava would have complained to no end about the tough conditions. The fact that she didn't complain once is arguably a big part of why Gregory talked so highly of the actress, while most of her contemporaries brushed off her acting skills. By the time of the filming of On the Beach, Gregory was divorced from his first wife and on to his second. Once again, this meant there was no room for romance with Ava. Ava was allegedly good friends with Gregory's second wife, as the two often socialized during production. Though Gregory and Ava remained friends after the filming of On the Beach, they never shared the screen together again. Still, the pair remained so close that Ava asked Gregory to write a chapter of her autobiography. Gregory claimed in the years leading up to his death that Ava was his favorite leading lady. Now it's time to hear from you. Did you know Gregory Peck and Ava Gardner were lifelong friends? Let us know in the comments section below.